Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fashion Nation, and today I'm teaching how to make a knitting 101 with a ribbed knit pattern, which is your basic pattern. So let's get into this. The first thing you need is your yarn, which I happen to have right here. And this is a 5. I know, it's to the camera. And then your knitting needles and one crochet hook, which is in my hair. But these are your basic tools of what you need, and I'm going to show you how you start this now. Your basic, now if you're only going to do 10, I'm going to say 1 and 2. This is how you start this. This is your tail, this is your working yarn. Take it, twist it, and I'm showing you this from my view for a specific reason, so that you can get a good perspective of how I do this. Get that working yarn, tug it, make sure you don't have this too awfully tight, so it'll be hard to slip the other knitting needle through. It's like my third attempt to do this video. Let me show you something important. Now, when you go to do this part right here, this part right here, this is what I want you to do. Your tail goes at the back of the thumb, the working yarn goes at the back of the index finger. Pull it down so that you have this V. Take your knitting needle under, over, under, through, and what you can do. Now that's 2. We're going to do 10 of these. I'm trying to just make this a quicker video, to tell you the truth. Because, like I said, this is my third time, trying to film this, trying to get it uploaded. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now that you have these casted on, what I want you to do is take your tail yarn, put it over there. Take your other knitting needle, leave the tail yarn down here. You have your working yarn here. Oh, that's backwards. Why is it backwards? Oh, you know what? Where you really got to keep in mind which is where. You really do. Otherwise, I goes a bit backwards. Speaking of backwards, this knitting needle goes in the back. Bring your yarn around. Sorry. Put the yarn around like that. Slip it through. Slip that loop off. Not it's a loop. And then, and this is why you have to try to keep them loose, okay? Because you will end up with that problem. So why you have to try to keep your beginning ones as loose as possible. That way you can just put that through, loop, okay? And sometimes even doing the casting off process, which I will show you momentarily after we get some of this done. I'm so used to doing this that, I can just basically go like that. Oh, doesn't work, try again, right? Because sometimes it doesn't want to catch, and that's true. This can be a very catchy thing to do, but at the same time, if you're just learning, I've been doing this for like over 10 years, so and even for someone that's been doing this for over 10 years, sometimes, you go back to your hand and you need to practice. When you're not knitting, you need to go back and practice your knit and keep it in the loop. Definitely. So we'll do a couple of rows of this so that you can get a good idea of how to do this. And generally, sometimes you get your loops a little tight and you really don't want that. Because then you're having to struggle like that. So it's a good thing to have to show you that anyway, that you could struggle a bit. If you struggle a bit, you can always just go through this side, tug it, and then take it back through the other way. So that's another, goodness. And I'm showing you guys this with the fuzzy yarn. Sometimes fuzzy yarn is just difficult. So don't begin with the fuzzy yarn. That's a recommendation. You can use a fuzzy yarn with arm knit. And arm knitting is a lot easier. I do have videos on arm knitting. So, okay. Now that we have these cast over here, you can start to see right here the patterning emerge. You are going to have an emerged pattern. Once you have it this way, and you get used to this, after a while, this is not going to be so hard to do. I'll turn a little. Try. I'm so trying to make sure that I have my hands in view of the actual camera so that you guys can get a full perspective on how to do this. Sorry, I'm a little shaky this morning. I didn't eat breakfast. How many of you actually skip breakfast sometimes? I did, and I think, like, if you're hypoglycemic, don't, like me, don't skip breakfast. Your sugars will go, no. So, just try to keep that tail yarn out of the way, and then continue, because you will get that ribbed effect in your patterning. You're starting to emerge here. Takes a few rows in order to get this patterning. Like I said, you have to make sure that you're able to get the knitting needle through back. Back. Oh my gosh. I'm wondering, like, what's through the back end at the post office anymore? Ever wondered? wonder that, like, what's in their back end that they're not delivering things like they should be. It's kind of like peeves people, like, you mailed things weeks ago and it still hasn't got there, or you mailed something and it just never got there. It's still in our packages and shit. Trying to make their Christmas better than ours. They probably are. I don't doubt that. I mean, like, now you can really see, like, here where the ribbing is emerging. Yeah, we haven't been on here too long. And since I'm not doing this for Instagram, I don't have to worry. Not gonna take too long. Not too long. I sound like Anne. She's funny. Now, what can you do with stuff like this, as in the headband? Several different things. You can make a hat. You can make granny squares, and then you can crochet those together and make a hat. Scarf. You could just take this whole patterning. You can do the 10 loops and then make a scarf with that, a nice long scarf. You can do the same patterning, right? Oops, that loop back there, that's a bit loopy. That should show you something like how easy it is to put your crochet hook back through there. Absolutely. You have enough yarn. I know I have enough yarn. I wasn't going to redo the video. I was going to figure out, like, what in the heck, because I'm real tired of my laptop not having enough storage. And then it just, like, stuff gets jammed in there. It's not like my other laptop that I had that had, like, a terabyte drive. So I missed that laptop not working anymore. It's a perfect laptop. Yeah. And remember, if your hands get dry, you can use your lotion or body butter, which, you know, I get mine from Sin City Soaps and Candles, which I will list their video. Give you my code. They are temporarily closed. My good friend Nicole, that is the genius behind the product, and these beautiful candles. This is a personal candle that she made for me, so I got something to heart, you know. Send out your prayers and your good vibes to her. She really needs it right now. The doctors where she lives are not paying attention to her emergency, and they didn't take care of her like she was told they would. They lied. That's not good. So, I'm going to continue this real quick. Once you get used to this, there's a few things that you will get used to doing with this. You will get used to just putting that back through there. This finger right here, your index finger, you're going to get used to going like this to hold that. You will. You'll get used to that. Come on. Definitely get used to, like, every little aspect of knitting. Let me sort of face you guys doing this. Now, you guys see here where the ribbed patterning is. You can see that a lot better now than you were able to. You're going to end up with this pattern, which is fine. That's what you're supposed to have, is this pattern. I don't do all those other fancy patterns. I just stick to the basic. Basic one to me, that is like the best ever because, well, quite frankly, it's the easier one. And if you're starting out knitting 101, it's the best for you to do. Yeah. Continue this. And that way, and the reason I'm doing it this way, so from both perspectives, I know my hands are probably in the way in the other way. I still have to get used to setting up my camera a certain way so that it's fully there. So as you can see, put that through the back, loop it around, back, loop it around. You do this if you're right-handed, you can do this if you're left-handed, it doesn't matter. Do this ambidextrous. Do one row with one hand and switch it and do it the other way. Yeah, kind of funny, right? Now that we have at least this much with the patterning and everything, what I'm now going to teach you is to cast off for your ending stitch. Now, I know I haven't done a lot here. That's fine. I don't really plan on it. So, because I'm actually going to tear this out as soon as I'm done. What? That's a waste. No, it's not a waste. I'm just teaching you. So what you want to do is like you're going to cast over. Do that twice. Okay. Now that you have 2 loops right here, right? What you want to do is you take the first loop that you put on there, which is now we consider that to be the second loop, okay? Tug it, bring it over. Bring it over the other loop and drop it. That's all you have to do. Okay? Do this again. You're cast on. Like wax on, wax off. Okay? Bring that back one over the front one. Do it again. This is going to end up being easier for you as you practice. Like I said, keep in practice of this if you want to keep in mind of knitting. You can make so many really decent looking garments just with knit and crochet. That's why I think that's why I don't generally buy knit fabric, because I know I can just make this stuff. Shh, don't tell the fabric manufacturer that. We can laugh about that. Okay, again, take that over, drop it, and so much easier. Bring that one over it, drop it. Then, like I said, it's just like casting over. Okay. Might take a moment or two to do this part. This is kind of a little more tedious than just doing the knit itself. But you know, once you get used to doing that, you get used to doing that, and then you also get used to holding your knitting needles a specific way. Again, and we drop that one. Now what I do is I always put my spare knitting needle in my hair. That's just me. That's just me. And then what you have right here is you have one loop left. And what do you do with that loop? Okay, well this is the loop right here where I don't take my working yarn, okay, through that until after I clip it and make a knot that I will just show you guys. Like just, you have that knot, try to make it so that you could at least fit 2 fingers through that knot, pull your yarn, and then what you'll do is, because you're not going to have this completely together like that, you will clip it, pull it through, make the knot, and then what you end up with is taking the tail in your crochet hook. And then what you will do is take your crochet hook, okay, you will do is take your crochet hook with this. I'm just going to show you guys an ad-lib version of how to do this. And then you will put that through. Okay. Put that through, and you want to make sure it goes through both. And then go like that. Again, and now this is like, we're at the end of this part. We're at the end of this as we know it. Okay, and then you will end up with this look on the outside. This is the stitch. Okay, and you know, you get used to that, then you also know where like the back of it is, because that's usually how it will look. Now this right here, this is kind of cute. You can do this as the finger parts for a glove. Absolutely. You can fully knit a glove and do these parts separate. Okay, and then you take your crochet hook and just crochet it together. So I hope this really inspires you to do more. Let me zoom out my face, because you can get in and be nitty during the winter. And warm. Have some nitty, have some nitty, have some nitty and witty and warm. This thing is warm. Don't mind my humor. Like I said, this is the 3rd time I've tried to do this video. It wouldn't load. So 3 times the charm, and we're going to give it that try. So I want everybody out there to stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. I'm just going to pull this apart and then continue to do the rest of what I was doing, was making a scarf in the place. But I at least did keep to my promise of teaching you some knitting 101. Let me get a freaking drink of water, right? Okay. So everybody out there, stay warm, definitely, because winter storm is about to hit where I live. And I will see you guys in the next one.